When we think of TV stars, many of the biggest names have that one title that they're really known for, that had them front and center, billboards, the whole lot. But I'd say it's more rare when one actor manages to land over a dozen starring TV roles.
I've taken 25 giant steps. It would be crazy not to take step 26.
And the best example of this is Robert Urich. And if a stellar TV career wasn't enough, the industry also gave him the love of his life, Heather Menzies. And those two made sure their happiness became everyone's happiness, not just through their great acting, but some pretty important foundations. I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, here to dig up the remarkable work and powerful love story this couple enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up to show support, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a deep dive like this. But without further ado, let's watch some TV. The Kingmaker. Our story begins on December 19th, 1946, with Urich, the humble son of a steelworker. Growing up in Toronto, Ohio, Urich learned to stay persistent and hopeful, an attitude he kept his whole life. He started out on the football field, achieving a football scholarship to Florida State. But in his actual studies, he got degrees in radio and broadcasting. He worked as a weatherman and a salesman before turning to acting. Urich had quite the helping hand leading him initially, as none other than Burt Reynolds gave him a place to stay and set him up with his first gig, The Rainmaker, where the two played brothers on stage.
I'm a star, and a really big star, and it's wonderful to be here tonight. Because I'm here.
The sound of success. As for Heather, before taking up life in an Austrian villa with Julie Andrews, she was born in Toronto too, the Canadian one this time. The daughter of a starving artist, she certainly had her mom's same energy and studied the arts in college, all before landing her first credit in The Farmer's Daughter in 1964. It was just 3 episodes, but right after she appeared in My Three Sons, and then of course The Sound of Music. And we have an entire cast then and now for those musical hills if you want to revisit all the Von Trapps. Heather partly landed this role because she already kind of looked like part of the family, and she says that the love between the children and Julie Andrews was very sincere, even if Andrews could be scary if provoked. All this before she guest starred in more of our favorite shows like Dragnet, Bonanza, The Bob Newhart Show, and many more. But in 1977, she landed a series regular gig in the sci-fi show Logan's Run. Quality character actor. One of Urich's strongest traits as an actor was his versatility. He was usually a strong, commanding presence, but as a character actor, he could disappear into a role. From a man of the law to a 2-timing tennis player. He first tried leading a show as Bob Sanders in Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, but it had a very short lifespan. His next gig would have a much stronger squad, being a co-star of SWAT, once again with a little help from a glowing review from Burt Reynolds. His tennis-playing arc on Soap followed next, before teaming up for a sequel to Bewitched called Tabitha.
Try knocking next time, Nancy.
From his time on The Love Boat and Charlie's Angels, Aaron Spelling never forgot Urich. So when he was casting his new show Vegas, he had a pretty good idea who he'd cast. And what a role it was! Detective Dan Tana was the quintessential cool guy in his red Thunderbird, solving all sorts of crimes and keeping Vegas safe.
Just suggest that you tread softly. The people in this town respond to a light touch.
Nearly 70 episodes later, Tana was a symbol of the city and helped Robert earn 2 Golden Globe nominations. But of course that's not all. Urich was on the case again in Spencer for Hire for 65 episodes, which I put up there with Magnum P.I. as the best private detective series ever. Urich mostly dominated TV, but we can't forget his memorable appearances in Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry sequel Magnum Force. He falsely told producers he could ride a motorbike, so when the big scene came, he crashed into everything and everyone. Luckily, he got a big laugh out of Eastwood, which I guess means he was feeling lucky.
I don't think it's nice you laughing.
A love story. The year is 1974. By this point, Urich had been married to actress Barbara Rucker since 1968, but divorced that year because Barbara wanted to focus on her career. And wouldn't you know it, Heather Menzies was also newly single. These two powerhouse actors landed work on an ad for Libby's Hash Browns. The two played a married couple showing off how crispy breakfast can get. The temperatures were rising all right, but it was more the flames of love than the potatoes. Urich even remembers his big pickup line saying, quote, "Should we go to your house and feed the cat, or my house and feed the dog?" Her response was that she'd already fed the cat, so they went to Robert's house and the rest is history. Heather's acting career was slowing in the 80s, but she joined Robert for a few more projects, like the film Endangered Species in '82, an episode of Spencer for Hire, and her final acting gig in 1990, a season 1 appearance, once again with her hubby on American Dreamer.
How crazy I am about a certain up-and-coming, handsome young reporter.
Lost and Found. The happy couple wanted to start a family of their own and tried for some time. Heather suffered through multiple miscarriages before finally they adopted, not once but 3 times, becoming parents to Ryan, Emily, and then Allison, who would be 20 years younger. Urich loved the idea of a domestic life and played an active role in his kids' lives. Ryan would sum up his parents best, saying, quote, "They didn't schmooze and they really understood each other. Their idea of a perfect day was anything as long as they were together." But in the meantime, health would now shape Urich's life in a different way. In 1996, he landed another standout role as a lead in The Lazarus Man, and it was very well received, so TNT ordered another season. But that summer, Urich was diagnosed with synovial cell sarcoma, a rare form of cancer that mostly hits the arms and legs and joints. Urich was open about this news and was ready to keep working. The production company, not so much, who decided to cancel the second season. Urich fired back and sued the company for breach of contract. Even with his cancer treatment, he never said he wasn't capable of filming. The series still ended, robbing viewers of season 2 and Urich of $1.5 million he would have earned. Quiet Retreat. Heather and Robert were one of Hollywood's best couples. Heather was vital to his success. When he was diagnosed, she devoted herself to helping him in any way she could. After a year of treatment, our hero was cancer-free and focusing on more TV work.
Do you think that the website helped in your recovery?
It has to be part of the healing process. To have people say, "We love you, we're thinking of you."
He added Broadway to his resume with a performance of Chicago, and this meant a great deal to him, who made theater his next big goal after television. He then appeared in the show Emeril alongside the chili master himself, Chef Emeril Lagasse. But that was the final TV show run from the TV show master. Sadly, his battle with cancer wasn't done. Doctors found lumps in his body, and in early April, he was hospitalized with breathing problems. And on April 16th, 2002, Robert Urich died, leaving behind a big family and a big hole in so many people's hearts. Championing a cause. Heather didn't stop caring about her husband's struggles even after he passed, and kept up his hopeful attitude for a cure. As a couple, they created the Urich Fund for the University of Michigan Comprehensive Cancer Center. Even after his own diagnosis, Urich believed he'd one day be cancer-free. He believed a cure within reach. And some of that hope stayed with Heather after he left. Heather created the Robert Urich Foundation, and to this day it's dedicated to researching sarcoma, which gets a lot less attention because of how rare it is. Roughly 1 in a million get it. But terribly, in November of 2017, Heather herself was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. So advanced she was only given weeks to live. And on Christmas Eve, Heather Menzies Urich passed away at 68 years old. Family legacy. The older kids, Ryan and Emily, were around when Urich's cancer began. It wasn't easy, and anyone who knows someone with cancer understands the helpless fear. Ryan actually admitted, quote, "I went into medicine because I couldn't help my dad medically, but maybe I can help someone else." He studied biology and became a doctor. And Emily, whose defining years also saw dad struggle with the disease, actually went on to become an ER nurse. And now, with both parents gone, these two run the Urich Foundation, keeping Robert and Heather's hopes alive for someone else, just like they so badly wanted. For anyone looking for a meaningful pilgrimage, you can visit his hometown of Toronto, Ohio, which is named the Robert Urich Interchange in his honor. And he's also just one of 3 Hollywood Walk of Fame stars beginning with a U, the others being Usher and Carrie Underwood. This talented love story had a sad ending, but their hope inspired others and lives on with foundations. Robert Urich and Heather Menzies were the kind of down-to-earth Hollywood couple you could certainly root for, so let's toast to them. What was your favorite role either of these two lovebirds had? Which show that I mentioned did you watch? What film should I check out? Leave all your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. We read them all. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a memory. But from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you for watching.